whether volunteers or drafted. Each of these men and women witness and practice duty, honor, pride. These simple words reflect the spirit of generations of Americans who have sought to defend the rights and freedom of others. These words come to life in the stories and memories of those who have served in defense of the nation. Across America's cities and towns, during memorial ceremonies, public officials will speak of the sacrifice and the valor of those whom we honor today, buried here among these beautiful gardens of stones. I want to thank you very much for coming today to honor our heroes. I also respectfully ask you to remember our men and women buried at the San Antonio National Cemetery, near here on Paso Hondo Street, right off New Braunfels. This was the original National Cemetery site, which is part of San Antonio's burying ground. There are even military members buried there who fought in the Civil War and the Indian Wars. It's like a really meaty Arlington National Cemetery. I would highly encourage you to visit one of these times. It is a precious historical site. I'm quite impressed with the Medal of Honor recipients that I've walked through there and seen from the Indian Wars, World War I, and the Spanish-American War. It's a very impressive site. It's here in San Antonio. The heroes buried there and here at Fort Sam Houston may have been gone, but are not forgotten. In 1863, when he dedicated a small cemetery in Pennsylvania, marking a terrible collision between the armies of the North and the South, President Lincoln noted the swift obscurity of such speeches. But we know now that Lincoln was wrong about that particular occasion. His remarks commemorating those who gave their last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolved that these dead shall not have died in vain, were long remembered. But since that moment at Gettysburg, few other such addresses have become part of our national heritage, not because of the inadequacy of speakers, but because of the inadequacy of words. Yet, we must try to honor them, patriots who have passed, not for their sakes alone, but for our own. And if words cannot repay the debt we owe these men and women, surely with our actions, we must strive to keep faith with them and with the vision that led to the battle and to sacrifice. Commemorations are tingled by both glory and sadness, by memories of great feats of the human spirit and memories of painful loss. Our first obligation to them and ourselves is plain enough. The United States and the freedom for which it stands, the freedom for which veterans sacrifice, must endure and prosper. The lives of veterans remind us that freedom is not bought cheaply. It has a cost. It imposes burdens. And just as veterans whom we commemorate were willing to sacrifice, so too must we by giving of ourselves. We may honor their sacrifice by building the kind of America for which they struggled. A land of liberty and justice for all, a decent and tolerant society, a community of civic friendship, a leader in freedom's cause in the world. It is not just strength or courage that we need, but understanding and a measure of wisdom as well. We must understand about our world to see the value of our alliances and our friends. Our understanding must extend to potential adversaries. We must strive to speak to them not belligerently, but firmly and frankly, noting the wide gulf between our codes of morality and values. Our goal is peace, but not at any price. Memorial Day is both a somber and joyful celebration for all Americans. We honor the men and women who have given their time, youth, strength, endurance, and family separation to serve their country. We pay profound tribute to the men and women who have given the ultimate sacrifice, their lives, to secure the safety and freedom of our nation and of the world. Finally, we stand together to embrace and celebrate the dedication and valor of our armed forces, active and reserve components, who today stand and watch around the world in harm's way, linked to this proud legacy, as we fight global conflicts and secure the safety of our homeland. We are immensely proud of the service of our veterans in the wars and conflicts of our nation. These veterans have shaped the character and principles of our country. We can best offer tribute to them by our rededication to their values of honor, respect, and devotion to civic duty. The competency and success of America's armed forces have everything to do with its selfless service. And the armed forces are now writing history again as they contribute to the global war on terrorism and the need to secure our homeland. We can all rest assured that this Memorial Day finds our armed forces vigilant, resolute, united, and committed to America's defense, together with our fellow countrymen. Every time I walk through this tranquil national cemetery, it is staggering to think of how many men and women have given their lives in service to our great country, and many more have been placed in harm's way today. It is very emotional for me to see so many tombstones aligned so perfectly. I am reminded of the 405,399 who have lost their lives in World War II, the 36,516 in Korea, and the 58,209 dead in the Vietnam War. By the way, it's the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War, so we have to make sure we remember our Vietnam veterans in that regards. And the 6,280 dead in Afghanistan and Iraq. In conclusion, this Memorial Day we remember and commemorate the undaunted courage and service of our departed veterans, true heroes of our time and for all times. As we honor their memory and service today, let us pledge that their lives, their sacrifices, their valor shall be justified and remembered for as long as God gives life to this nation. And let us also pledge to do our utmost to carry out what must have been their wish, that no other generation of young men and women will ever have to share their bloody experiences and repeat their sacrifice. This we strive to do. As President George W. Bush noted in 2001, we must remember that many who have served in our military never lived to be called veterans. We must remember many had their lives changed forever by experiences or the injuries of combat. All veterans are examples of service and citizenship for every American to remember and to follow. I thank everyone here with us today and those veterans who have gone before for participating in this heartfelt tribute to our heroic and selfless departed veterans. This is why it is important for me to be here, to acknowledge and recognize the contributions to our country of our many servicemen and women who have given their last full measure of devotion. Memorial Day is truly a grand day, a day to long be remembered. We can all be proud of our American heroes and be proud citizens of our great country. President Barack Obama said it best, but from the very start, there was also something more, a steadfast commitment to serve, to fight, and if necessary to die, to preserve America and advance the ideals we cherish. It is a commitment witnessed at each defining moment along the journey of this country. That commitment, that willingness to lay down their lives so we might inherit the blessings of a nation. It is what we honor today. But on this Memorial Day, as on every day, we are called to honor their ultimate sacrifice with more than words. We are called to honor them with deeds. God bless you, God bless the fallen, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.